All right, here's a video of a hike that we've been wanting to do for a long time, working up the courage to do it because we wanted to do it all in one day. It's the Black Mountain Crest Trail from Boland's Creek Trailhead all the way up to the summit of Mount Mitchell. Wanted to do it to celebrate my birthday and see if I could do it at 57 years old, and turned out to be an amazing hike, a spectacular hike, and an extraordinarily difficult and hard hike. What a day. So if you're thinking about doing the hike and you're in decent shape, even at our age or older, it's doable, but be ready because it takes a pretty big effort to do. Anyway, here you go. All right, just getting started on the Black Mountain Crest Trail, crossing this initial footbridge over Boland's Creek. Beautiful morning, just after 8 o'clock, and here we go. Mary, any words of encouraging wisdom?
I'm nervous!
I'm nervous, that sums it up. All right, we're a mile into the hike from Boland's Creek to Black Mountain to finish up at Mount Mitchell. And we're going to try to do this a lot or somewhat more disciplined than we usually do. So every mile, at every mile point, at completion of a mile, we're going to stop, take the packs off for a few minutes, drink water, whether we want water or not, we're going to drink it.
And we actually brought water this time?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's like a wicked infinite loop situation here. One causes the other, but everything you read, everything you watch tells you on a hike like this, you've got to bring bunches of water, drink plenty of water. So we're going to drink at every mile. But I don't know. That's the packs are for us super heavy for a day hike. Mine's probably 30 pounds.
That's because he took my weight.
And most of all that weight's water. So I don't know that you bring a bunch of water, which makes it harder to climb, which makes you have to drink more water. So you got to bring more water to go on a hike that you drink water. But bringing the water is the reason you have to drink water. All right, just finished up the break after mile 2. Still more of the same, just a steep climb.
To climbing.
Up the mountain, up the ridge, and mile 2 is it's a tough mile. It's a bear. No joke.
He's a beast.
But these breaks, we took about a 10-minute one here, finished off the first water and had some chips, and so we're ready to get after mile 3.
Yay!
Mary?
Reporting live. Mile 2. Okay, mile 3. Not so bad. We haven't gained a lot of elevation. So I'm thinking mile 4 is going to be a butt kicker.
You should be right. The math would say you're pretty right. All right, at 3.3 miles, break time again. So we had a couple of protein snacks and great water source here. We're able to fill up a 33-ounce bottle of water. So we feel good about that. Even though we hate to carry more weight, we just can't pass up a chance for some plenty supply of water. So we're about to finish this break, and then another, what I think is going to be a tough mile lies ahead to Silo Knob. Mares?
Doing it. It's going to be a...
3 3/4 miles up, 5,200 feet, passing through that. Forest has certainly turned to predominantly pines, big old huge pine trees everywhere. And the 4th mile climb, and climbing gets steep again. We knew it would. But the smell of the pines and the looks of the forest, it's lush and big, just big is the word I'd use for it. Well, at 4 3/4 miles, we come out of the woods, the top 6,000 feet, you get your first views of the mountains, the Black Mountains, the J. We're standing at the start of the small letter J, and it goes out that way. Then it circles and comes back over there.
Going over there.
Skies are not as they were when we started. Been fretting a little bit about that, but there's nothing we can do about it. And I've been following these summit forecasts for a couple of weeks, trying to get the hang of it, and they change every hour. So it can, matter of fact, for today was 3 days ago was rain all morning, thunderstorms in the evening, and then it would go next day be clear. And you just have to go when you go, I guess. But you can see the entire ridgeline, the hike we have left before us. We're standing, Silo Knob is just up through the trees, about 300 feet higher. I don't know if I'm going to try that or not. But then the hike just keeps going over that knob, and then down and over that one, then on to that one, then on and on to those peaks in the distance. And I think Mount Mitchell is that peak that tails off to the right as far as you can see. I think that's Mount Mitchell. And it's absolutely wonderful up here. Even though skies look a bit ominous, haze is certainly present. It's great to see this in person. Well, after making it up to the crest of the Black Mountains, popping out just below Silo Knob, I decided it's 300 feet. It's a bushwhack through whatever, and see if I could find a footpath to get up here. And sure enough, I was standing on the summit of Silo Knob, 6,327 feet, or so they would have you believe. But it's great. I even stood there because it looked a hair bit higher than where I am now. So I got to get back down to Mares, but it's a good footpath. I mean, I came up a kind of a very faint footpath traffic there, but then I hooked up with a nice one. So I'd say this trail here, this footpath, if you stay on it, would go down below where I left Mary Beth. So I've got to decide whether I'm going to do that and come back to her, or try to bushwhack down the same way I came up, which that's what I'll probably do. Anyway, Silo Knob. Wonderful to be up here. All right, leaving leaving Silo Knob behind. That's the peak up there. And well, when you come off the side of that ridge, the footing's a little tricky, but once you get started heading along the ridge, then the rest of the hike and the mountain peaks are in front of you, and hiking's easy. It's just glorious. See all of that, the mountains and valleys and tons of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's hazy today, so the views aren't what they would be in October, November, December, but it's amazing. And you can see the clouds, or a lot of the peaks are in the clouds, and the mist, the clouds just sort of rising up in the mist, floating along.
Honey, it's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it sure is.
Just like, I stand here in awe,
Yeah, it's something else. So we're gonna go a little further, try to find a lunch spot, and then we'll set out. And that's Gibbs Mountain right there. And winter Winter Star, I believe. I don't know these mountains, you know, at the back of my hand or anything. The big tall one I think is Cattail Peak or Potato Knob. Mitchell is lost in the haze in the distance. So will we be, hopefully, some amount of hours from now. But you want to just stay here all day, but you can't, because you don't want to get stuck. The park closes at 10 p.m. They shut the gates, I'm told. So, what time is it now? It's probably pushing 1 o'clock. We got 9 hours. Surely we can make that, Mares.
We got it.
Come on. All right, mile 6.2. Just finished a late lunch, later probably than we should have. Had a great lunch spot though. We found this. It's almost put here for somebody could eat lunch on it. Sit.
And enjoy the view.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So anyway, we're heading off once again.
Doing it.
Mary.
Headed to Potato Hill.
Heading to Winter Star at first and then onward. But we've been sitting here watching the clouds, you know, roll up just vertically up that side of the mountain, the eastern side of this mountain range. That's spectacular. I've never been anywhere I could witness that as I'm walking along. It's pretty cool. See the mist rising right over there. All right, 7.25 miles or so, maybe a little touch more than that into the hike. It's 3:30. We're at the base of Winter Star Mountain, the summit of it. So we got to climb that and then down to Deep Gap and then up a pretty steep climb, 800 feet or so, up Potato Hill. And then I think the rest of the hike is not strenuous or as, you know, anything too difficult. But you know,
it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it is
a
a
tough one.
one.
We got still a long way to go, and not as much daylight as we'd like to have, but we got lights and all that stuff, and the trail is discernible easily. So we got to make it back to the truck in time to get out of the park before they shut it down and lock the gates.
Lock us in. But I do have pillows and blankets.
And we went through it, you know, the last mile or so was a tough stretch. We've met a couple of couples and hikers, and you know, they're all quick to point out, oh, you're going to Mount Mitchell. Oh man, you guys better hurry up. I got Mary in a little bit of a funk, but she's about to come out of
slow.
it. She's about to snap out of that thing. So it's walking in the woods.
One step in front of the other. Actually, 1 foot in front of the other.
Let's see how Mary chooses to climb the rope-assisted rock wall. Looks like she's simply using hiking poles to this point, making my efforts seem unnecessary. Thanks, Mary, for the dramatic effect of that. All right, from near the top of Winter Star Mountain, this is looking back on the route we came. The climb up to Winter Star wasn't as bad as we thought it'd be. I mean, it was steep, but there were steps made out of railroad ties or something, and made it a much easier climb. But looking back, and the clouds and mist still floating around on this ridge line, and it's really pretty special to have seen these clouds and this mixture of mountaintop and clouds today. It's gonna be pretty special too to see the truck eventually. And approaching summit of Winter Star, and this is the prettiest stretch of spruce fir forest we've been in yet by far. All right, second summit, official summit of the day, Winter Star Mountain, 6,188 feet. Here's the geological marker. We made it, Mare's made it. onward. All right. 9.5 miles in, summit of Potato Hill. The climb to this summit from Deep Gap, you know, it's notably known as the brutal climb. It is an absolute monster brutal climb. Couple, 3 more miles to go. Woo, what a hike, hard hike. Looking off the east side of the summit of Potato Hill, or whatever this is, it's 6,390 feet. It's the highest spot. You're going down from here. But just cool, you pop out and you can see this mountain disappearing into the mist and clouds, fog, whatever, and just makes for a nice scene. Hearing thunder off in the distance, but it seems a long way away. So maybe we'll get lucky and get there before the storm, if it's coming this way. Won't we, mayors?
Maybe.
Well, I was mistaken. The trail does cross the summit of Cattail Peak, 3383, and went back there. We jumped around all of that. That seems to be the highest place. So another 6,000 footer bites the dust for me and mares. Well, a little after 8 p.m., we're on the summit of Mount Craig. It's the last summit before we get to Mount Mitchell. And it's in the haze right there. It's Mount Mitchell, next one. 3/4 of a mile, from what I understand. I pray to God that's true. What a hike. There's final destination, Mount Mitchell. It's about 8:30. We're tired. We are tired. Well, as you can tell by the last clip, we finished in complete darkness. It was 9:05 when we arrived at Mount Mitchell. So a little over 13 hours to complete that hike. And it was 13 miles. And I can tell you, when we arrived at the truck, we were completely 100% totally mentally and physically exhausted. Probably the most we've ever been after a day of hiking. So I underestimated the hike. I know that. But looking back on it, the memories of how we felt, how tired we were, just a couple days removed, are already starting to fade. But the memories of what we saw, the scenes, the vistas, what we experienced, the sights and sounds, those certainly have not faded at all and won't fade. So we'll look back on this hike with great satisfaction that we were able to get it done at our age and love it. But we won't do it again. But hey, there's all kind of options to hike the Black Mountains. You can go drive to the summit, park your car, start hiking towards Mount Craig, and you'll see incredible views. You can go out a mile and turn around. You can go out 2 miles and turn around. If you want to go out a little farther, you'll start getting into some dense, thick, beautiful spruce pine forest. And you won't have to hike but 4 or 5 miles total to experience that. And you'll have the place to yourself. You'll leave the crowds at Mount Mitchell along behind and just go however far you want, turn around and come back. That's certainly would be a wonderful hike to do. But if you're looking for a challenge and you wanna test your mettle, start at Boland's Creek and hike to the summit of Mount Mitchell. And if you can do that, you'll experience a lot of great things and you'll suffer some. But for us, we'll look back and believe it was certainly worth it.